What's going on, people, and welcome back to Rootz TV. Baller League Week 10 has come and gone and there's so much to discuss, but first things first, I know what you're thinking. We must address the elephant in the room. Yes, they finally gave me a shout out. Finally, the tribal chief, Rootz TV has been acknowledged. I would like to thank everybody who's contributed to Rootz TV, including myself. Big shout out to Chunkz, of course. Big shout out to Baller League, Sky Sports. Saka-san, Bilal, I'm sure you had a thing or two to do with it as well, so big up to you boys as well. I appreciate everyone who's shared the platform with myself. It's nice to be acknowledged by platforms like that, who's supported small-sided football when it was down here. Obviously now it's big time and everyone else is moving big time, but it's nice to know that people are showing, some acknowledgement, so it's always nice to be appreciated by people like that. So that's all I wanted. It's just a small thing. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we'll talk about it more in time to come, but I thought I'd just get that out the way first and foremost. So let's get straight into it. First game of the night. Whew. MVPs versus Treble FC. Now, if you wanted something lively, something to get your heart racing, this was the game to watch. Because again, it started off a bit slower at first, but it got straight into it. Well worked second goal from Treble FC to make it 2-0. That man, Sassy, the guy that's only rated by certain people, Florian, shout out Florian Castrati. And then there was a sin bin, of course, a bit of handbags, you know how it gets on small-sided courts. Or some people might not like it, we'll get onto that shortly as well. But that was eventually broken up. Manny, you was at fault there, you know what you was doing, a bit of dark arts. I like it though, I like it. But eventually, two players were sin bins. Ethan OK, I believe, and Alfie Matthews was sin bins. And then things resumed back to normal. And Eddie Mayak, who's doing absolute bits right now, made it 2-2 from the spot. Then Amadou Castrati scored an absolute worldie of a goal. And this is no disrespect to Adam Dawson's goal, but it's up there. So again, already during the stream, they was talking about top goals at Baller League. They need to throw this one into the mix now. Because again, that could rival Adam Dawson's goal. Sorry, Adam, I'm just telling you how it is. Anyway, scored a worldie of a goal. Then Sassy got his hat-trick of 1v1s, but it wasn't enough to stop MVP eventually winning 7-5. And MVPs near enough have cemented their top 4 spots heading to Las Vegas. Is it Las Vegas? I think it's Las Vegas. Then Alfie Matthews after the game was telling people, that's what I do. I like to see it. I like to see people bragging about what they do because again, this is what it's about. Not only showing your skills on the pitch, but show your skills on the mic, man. Make it a bit more like WWE, Like, I get it, your gaffer is enthusiastic, he's passionate, but some of the players need to show a bit of personality because I think that's the team that you least know about in terms of personality and players. Yes, we know about the two bosses or gaffers, Maya Jama and Alicia Lehman, but we need to know about the personalities. We can't just keep referring to Timmy Abraham as Tammy's brother. Do you know what I mean? We need to know about these players. So it's good to see Alfie Matthews with a bit of personality. I'd like to see that a little bit more from MVP. And a few other teams as well, like FC Rule the World, Wembley Rangers to an extent, but we'll get onto them shortly anyway. That was crazy. Right, next game. Funny enough, we're talking about FC Rule the World. It was N5 versus FC Rule the World. And N5, I keep calling him Brian Lee of FC, and people think that's disrespect. Well, it kind of is Brian Lee FC. He got his 20th goal, of course, so shout out to Brian Lee. FC Rule the World eventually ran out 4-2 winners. I don't think it's going to do much for them in terms of the top 4 race, but again, you've got to fulfill your fixtures. Charlie Wakefield got his second goal of Baller League, and to be honest, it's kind of needed, man. They needed some sort of other outlet barring Brian Lee, because it can't just be Brian Lee FC, although it pretty much is. But after Brian Lee got his 20th goal of the season, then they got slapped up. And let's call it a spade a spade. They got slapped up, ended up 4-2. And like I said, 3 easy points for FC Rule the Worlds. On to the next one, 26ers versus Depot Trio. This one was an absolute barnstormer of a game. I know I was talking about the first one having it all, but this one was up there, 26ers went 2-0 up through Saka-san. Again, he can't stop scoring right now. Then Depot Trio clawed it back through goals from Marvin Sordell, of course. Saka got his hat-trick despite Bilal Sayoud scoring a couple goals late on, but eventually Depot Trio ran out winners 7-5 and cementing their top 4 finish, and they're heading off to Vegas, which might be a good hideout for Gary Lineker. I'm just saying it how it is. Come on. In the mix of all that as well, breaking news. The CEO, yes, Felix, the CEO, apologised to Angry Jin. She saw the numbers. he saw the numbers over there. He thought, you know what? These content creators, they might be onto something. We might need to keep him on side. So he apologized, gave him some Ray-Ban glasses. Not that he probably needs them anyway, but the gesture was there. The handshake on camera was there. You know, let bygones be bygones and all the rest of it. Let buffoons be buffoons and all the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? And then he apologized. And yeah, all is forgiven, I hope. But again, it's good that sometimes the ego, sometimes you can let your words get mixed up. That's what he was claiming, the language barrier and all the rest of it. German, Spanish, compared to English, I hear it. But sometimes we can let the ego get in the way of business, and good business is keeping these creators on sides. You can see what numbers they're getting on Twitch compared to when they're not at your venue. And again, everyone was loving the Ginger effect when he was there. Ginger's loving it, being back in the arena. I'm sure they can come to a compromise, which they will. Business is business. We're back in business right now. Good stuff. Then we got to do the celeb check, of course. Miles Lewis-Skelly from Arsenal was in the building, shaking hands, doing signatures with N5, Jens Lehmann. God, Jens Lehmann could have done with him earlier. In fact, Jens Lehmann could have done with him all season. Nico was in the building as well, probably promoting shades, being the free kick coach for SDS as well, and just being his normal self as well. But shout out to Nico as well, obviously, you know, raising the bar and the energy levels to Baller League in general. I remember once upon a time I'd done a shoot with him back in the day in Channel 4, and he has a cult-like following, believe me. I'll have to dig out one time, and when I do one of these reviews about my actual media career, yeah, he'll definitely have to be a chapter in there. But yeah, shout out to Nico as well. And then the other name to mention was Tim Cahill, formerly of Everton, of course, Australia international captain. He was in the building, he was on the hot seat as well. So it's nice to see a kind of old school and new school and creator blend all wrapped up into one as well. And that's what it should be as well. You know, that's what it should be all about, because it's catering to all different audiences as well. So it's good, it's a nice blend. In the Pepsi Challenge point, Henry Lansby won it for Vision as well. So again, that's another extra point to add to Vision's total, which makes it interesting going into the final week of week 11 for Vision. Can they get top 4? We'll get into that shortly. Next game was M7 versus SDS, and SDS are on a run of form. M7, not so much. Nice to see Mini Minter back in the building as well, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get the 3 points. SDS ended up running out 6-3 winners. SDS went 1-0 up, but Femi Akinwande got an equaliser for Mini Minter's team, and I think he might have other issues to deal with as well. Gosport, Borough, bills paid, yeah? Come on, hey. Femi, we all know. That's why sometimes you got to speak up about things, because otherwise people will take you for idiot, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, shout out Femi, and we'll lock in that interview soon come. Don't worry, we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, Gosport, naughty, come on, do your research. Who's saying bills paid first? You know what I'm saying? Believe he made it 4-2 and then 5-2 as well. And Keziah Sterling fluffed his lines to get a hat-trick after some mind games for Walla Larson. I see you. It was enough to get the 3 points and the MVP of the night for Keziah Sterling. And can SDSFC make that late surge for 4th space? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who's going to get that 4th spot? My money's on them. Over to Box Office Ginge, or Morgan, as they call him in the streets. And after all the little sit down and handshakes with the boss and the CEO, he had another sit down as well, claiming that managers are messaging other managers and telling them how to beat United. And you know what? Why not? You know, they are the top dogs to beat. Them on Deportria, but United have been top for so long. It doesn't surprise me, you know. I think it's that all why always me, sort of why everyone's hating on me, but at the same time, if you're not getting hated on, then you're not doing something right, because if everyone's looking at you, you're the guy to beat, then you must be doing something right? That's how I see it anyway. And obviously I think he eventually got it, but you know, he has to play up to the cameras. I get it, it's part of his persona. Awesome. And that's what's kind of been needed. That's what you kind of need from a manager. Someone who's a bit passionate, gives it a little, can give it a little as well. But overall, it's good to see him back in the venue, back on the sidelines, back on camera, because you need that sort of personality. And again, it must be an absolute clip farm for Baller League right now. Anyway, let's get back into the game, and United absolutely dominated Vision. It's clear to see. Look, you can see by the scoreline, 6-1. 6-1 to United. I mean, wow. Razak Sterling grabbed a goal, grabbed an assist. Villetti missed the penalty, but then made up for it later on. Completed his hat-trick, Razak Sterling. Tyler Winters grabbed a double. Then Florian got sent off as well. Naughty boy. And then, yeah, they eventually ran out 6-1 winners, and Vision had their vision impaired. Let's call a spade a spade. and United confirmed their top 4 status, and they're going to Vegas. On to the next one, the final game of the night, and probably the shock of the night as well. Santan versus Wembley Rangers. Who's seen this coming? Wembley Rangers 6-2 winners. 6-2. Like, where was this Wembley Rangers all season? Why are you waiting to the second to last game of the season to win, and win so dominantly, especially without your top goal scorer in Dom Perez, who's over in Azerbaijan. Ruben Jr., I don't know where he is, probably still on the piss up for celebrating his promotion party. And your gaffer's not even there as well. But Uncle Ian Wright, you know, shout out Uncle, come to the rescue. And he's just let all the people that weren't getting a look in by the looks of it, a shout out and a run. Giving the opportunity to players that weren't given an opportunity before. Like, who would have thought, eh? Check TM, that's how I pronounce it, TM. But again, what a hat-trick he scored. Like, where has he been? Like, I know he was saying about his injuries and all the rest of it now, but the third goal especially, oh my God. That ball roll, sat man down, back of the net, hat-trick. Where has players like that been? No offense to Dom Perez or Ruben Jr. or, you know, Cookie or anything like that, but if you've had players like that all season, you've had a performance like that in you guys all season, I could have done it with you guys earlier. I predicted you to be top 4, not bottom 4. Anyway, a little too late, but Santan's top 4 run has been dented. They still can get top 4 in and amongst it with obviously SDS and Treble. But boy, where has that performance been all season? Hey, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the table. Deportivo are first. They're top 4 now, so they're qualified. Same with United as well. They're top 4. They've qualified as well. MVP, they're on 21 points. It's still mathematically possible for teams to catch them in third place, but they're pretty much there or thereabouts. Santan, they took a little dent, obviously, with that loss to Wembley Rangers. They're in 4th. Vision FC, joint points on 5th. Treble FC, 17 points in 6th. And SDS FC are on 17 points and they're in 7th. So anywhere from 7th to 5th, so 5, 6, 7 basically, sorry, can catch top 4 and make it. SDS FC can still make that late surge into that top 4, especially with the run of form, but they'll have to rely on fixtures going their way. And with next week's fixtures as well, it could potentially happen as well. The rest of the table, as you can see on screen, is there. 26ers, they've ruined their chances basically of being top 4. They're third with 13 points. M7, no chance, 11 points. FC rule the world with 10 points. And then 5, propping up the table, rock bottom, like Dwayne Johnson, with 1 win on 4 points. But it's going to be interesting. The final game of the season before the O2, it's going to be an interesting one. We get onto goal scorers as well. Brian Lee's still top of the table with 20 goals. Like, I can't believe it. 20 goals in a struggling team. Like, imagine if you put him into an SDSFC, an MVPs, God knows how many goals he would have got. But 20 goals in a team that's bottom of the table. Kudos, congratulations. Next one is Bilal. Shout out Bilal, is on 14 goals. Eddie's on 14 goals as well. He's on a hot streak right now. Florian's on 13 goals as well. And then the next ones is Tyler Winters and Amid Belaid on 13 goals as well. So,
seeing the man them talking crazy online. We had a lot of talk from Vision. One person in particular, Flo Castrati, he was talking crazy on Rootz TV. And
Bilal and Saka basically done the equivalent of a press tour recently with going on obviously Rootz TV.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, I was wondering to myself, was something going to be mentioned based off the video that I put out? I thought to myself, I'm not being quiet no more. You know, it's only so many times you can just keep thinking that someone's going to say something or someone's going to acknowledge you. Like, I can see the comments in the comment section from Baller League staff, so you clearly see that the content's going out. I know there's people as part of Baller League that have to see what's going on social media, what's being said and all the rest of it now, whether it be from their own content creators like Ginge, for example. But it's nice to finally get acknowledged by not only Chunkz, who has a heavy presence within the scene, but also on Baller League as well. And then shout out to my boy Abs as well later on when he's on commentary. By the way, get Abs on commentary duty more often because he sounded comfy. He sounded comfortable, he didn't sound awkward. He knew the players, he knew, You know, he had knowledge. It sounded like a natural flowing conversation. That's what you want with Baller League, or that's what you want in general. Especially like if you're tuning in as a new fan and you're listening to Baller League. So again, Baller League people, I'm not even getting no commission from that. I just know Abs. I know he's good peoples. Shout out to Abs for shouting me out as well. But also just make sure you look after him in it, because that's what we need. You need people that are in position, that are passionate about this, who know the players. Not only does he just knows SDS FC, but he knows other players in there as well. And that's all we've been saying. And by the way, guys, thank you for the shout out once again. Chunkz, thank you for the shout out. Bilal, once again, Saka-san, once again, like shout out for you guys for who might have put a good word in. And it's just appreciated, man, because I put a lot of time and effort into all these videos, you know, not only just Baller League, but in general. Like, I've been doing this for 7 odd years now, not made a lot of money at all. I know some people seem to think that I make tons of money off this. Trust me, I don't. If I did a video on one day on how much money I've lost over the years, it'll amaze you. So little things like that does mean a lot. So yeah, all it is a name check. You guys know where you got the content from. You know that I've been involved in grassroots football, supporting Sunday League football, you know, five-a-side football for the longest time now. So it's nice to get name checked every now and then, twice in one night. Wasn't expecting it, but I'm here for it. And thank you for everyone who's been supporting online, whether it be behind the scenes, in the DMs, or in the comment sections, and just saying that, yeah, cite your source, or, you know, give this man the support he deserves, because I've been putting in the work. So it's nice. Appreciate you guys all for doing that. Baller League, had to get onto you, but again, if you don't say anything, things like this don't happen, so clearly it works. But let's keep moving, let's keep progressing on. I want to see more of this in terms of integrating people from outside of Baller League within Baller League, because it just makes sense. It doesn't always have to necessarily be about, oh, look who's turned up this week, this ex-pro or this current pro and all the rest of it. There's people within content creation circles that know about these sort of players who can add value to the brand itself. You know, I know a lot's been invested into it, but everyone can chip in and add their bit into it, because again, if Baller League wins, we all win. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Anyway, thank you guys. Once again, appreciate you all. And thank you once again, Baller League as a whole, for shouting me out. And others as well. You know, it's not all just about me. I know people might seem to think it might be all about me, but you know, we're all adding in our little 2 cents to make this whole grassroots scene, small-sided scene, what it deserves to be. So appreciate you guys for watching as always. And yeah, my question to you guys is, who's going to make top 4? You already know United's in there, Deportivo's in there. Who's going to take the remaining 2 slots? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been Rootz from Rootz TV. See you guys all in a bit.